You might think winter's just about cold nights and icy roads, but what if I told you that FEMA, the same agency that coordinates disaster response across America, just quietly updated their cold weather prep list? And it's not what you'd expect. These aren't high-tech gadgets. They're simple, cheap, and for millions of Americans this year, they might be the only reason their home stays warm when the grid buckles. Because here's what no one's talking about. Extreme cold snaps are getting more unpredictable. One blast of Arctic air, and the power grid's pushed past its limit. We saw it in Texas. We saw it in the Midwest. Families trapped for days without heat, scrambling for supplies, burning furniture just to stay warm. But FEMA's list? It's not panic. It's preparation. It's the gear they quietly recommend before every major freeze the items that work when nothing else does. So in the next few minutes, I'm walking you through 9 specific items that not only meet FEMA's cold weather guidelines, but could mean the difference between surviving in comfort or freezing in the dark. And trust me, you already have some of these in your home, but until now, you probably never realized how powerful they really are. Before we dive in, let me know in the comments. Have you seen strange weather already this season? Higher bills? Shorter grocery shelves? Because what's happening in your town might be a preview of what's coming nationwide. Number 9. Battery-operated heater. You might have scrolled past battery-operated heater thinking it's too good to be true, too futuristic. But Grandma didn't wait for the perfect tag, she made warmth happen anyway. Because when that Arctic blast arrives and grid power snaps, your cozy blanket won't cut it. You need targeted warmth, just enough, just for you. And guess what? That's where a battery-operated device like a small heated blanket or power tool battery vest shines. Here's how she'd teach it. Grab a portable, rechargeable hand warmer or even an old power tool battery and nestle it inside your jacket or under your blanket. It's not about heating a room, it's about heating a person. Your core. These devices put warmth exactly where it counts, next to your body, your chest, your back, your feet. And because they're battery-powered, you control the heat, the timer, the intensity. Even in the blackout, real users report just one fully charged pack could deliver hours of warmth. Not a full house, but one person staying warm. And here's what makes it powerful. It's scalable. If you can share one battery across 3 people, each conserving heat under covers, you're already surviving instead of shivering. Invisible danger? When the heat dies, you don't notice the chill until it hunts your bloodstream, your core slipping degree by degree. You don't smell the cold formation. You don't feel hypothermia starting until it's on you. But touch that warm battery, now feel control. Now feel safe. Experts confirm batteries can't boil water or save a house, but they can heat your body, stabilize your temperature, and buy you critical time. That's enough when everything else fails. So if you're prepping for the worst, don't skip this. Pack a battery, hand warmer, or heated vest. Store extra packs. Keep them charged. Because you don't need to warm a house, you need to warm yourself. Number 8. Heavy-duty blankets. Your house chills like a cave when the thermostat dies. The cold isn't just air, it's a silent enemy, sneaking through walls, windows, and even into your bones. And in that darkness, a blanket isn't just a comfort, it's war armor. Not any blanket, a heavy-duty one. The kind Grandma kept folded at the foot of the bed, thick wool, dense weave, not fancy but a fortress on cold nights. These aren't the skinny foil sheets that crackle and flap. We're talking thick wool or heavyweight synthetic durable layers that trap air, that hold warmth hour after hour. Picture this. The power fails at night. The house drops by 20 degrees in hours. Most people panic. You wrap in that heavy blanket. Body heat radiates into the fibers, air pockets lock it in. It doesn't fade, not for hours, not for the coldest stretch. Science backs it. According to survival gear experts, wool and heavy synthetics provide superior warmth because they trap air even when damp. And FEMA actually includes warm blankets in their emergency kit recommendations for cold preparedness. But here's the reality. Not all blankets are built equal. The everyday fleece won't cut it when the heater is off. You need a blanket that breathes resistance, not budgets. The invisible danger? Thin layers allow heat to bleed away. You won't feel it at first, but soon your core dips. Fatigue sets in, confusion lingers, and if you're elderly or sick, that subtle drop can shift into crisis. But the heavy blanket? It fights silently. It holds the line. It keeps your heartbeat warm long enough for sunrise or rescue to matter. So when you prep for cold nights, don't just grab softness, reach for substance. Choose a blanket that can double as a ground tarp, as padding under a window, even as a makeshift shelter, because collapse doesn't ask if you prefer style or substance. It settles where only the strong survive. Wrap real heat. Choose heavy duty. Number 7. Insulated window covers. The moment the grid dies, your greatest enemy isn't the cold air, it's your windows. In winter, glass becomes a gaping thermal hole, a direct route leaking your hard-fought warmth into the void outside. And when it's freezing inside, that's not discomfort, that's danger. But Grandma had a trick. She didn't waste time patching floors, she covered her windows instead, with thick, insulated material. Not fancy, not expensive, but effective. Here's how she did it. She'd take whatever heavy fabric she had, quilt scraps, old wool blankets, even folded cardboard and craft window covers that fit snug, right against the frame. Sometimes backed with reflective material, sometimes layered with newspaper between cloth and glass. The goal was simple. Trap the air between you and the cold outside. Stop the draft. Lock in heat. Now here's the science. According to the U.S. Department of Energy, tightly installed cellular shades or insulated window attachments can reduce heat loss by over 40%. That's 10% energy savings instantly during winter. That's not trivial, that's the difference between shivering and waking warm. In those blackout nights, while modern homes went bone chill, Grandma's house stayed manageable. Because windows didn't doom her, they got defended. Invisible danger? You don't feel the cold slipping through glass at first. You don't hear the drafts. But minute by minute, it steals your body heat. It whispers hypothermia before you even register the drop. But those insulated covers, they turn glass into a wall. During prolonged outages, families who blocked windows with thick blankets or emergency insulation stayed warmer, recovered faster, and their core stayed steady when everyone else was shivering. So if you're prepping, don't chase heaters first. Lock your windows. Make a cover that fits tight. Use what you have: fabric, cardboard, reflective panels. And when the blackout hits, warm walls won't save you, but insulated windows will protect what matters most: your body. If your grandmother ever taped up a quilt, newspaper, or panel over the window to fight the cold, drop window shield in the comments below. That memory might help someone sleep warm when the darkness creeps in. Number 6. Fuel-powered radiant heater. You can't feel despair like you feel cold. It finds you slowly, a creeping numbness that starts in your limbs and spreads inward. When the power's out and the furnace has gone silent, what do you reach for? Your grandmother taught you, not just warmth but heat that radiates, real heat that holds. Enter the fuel-powered radiant heater, a burner that doesn't just warm air, it warms people. Infrared flames, catalytic ceramic plates, fans that push steady heat deep into your space. Yes, it needs fuel, but when the grid falls, fuel might be your lifeline. In places like FEMA's emergency shelters, portable propane or kerosene radiant heaters are a staple for winter response kits. Their power? They run independent of electric systems, tend to have oxygen sensors, and warm you where you stand. And while caution is vital, they work when everything else fails. But let's get real. This isn't about convenience, it's about survival. Imagine crawling into bed as night sinks in, and power is a ghost. You turn on that ceramic radiant heater. The air doesn't change at first, but your chest does. Your heart doesn't gasp in cold anymore. Chairs near the heater relax. Joints thaw. You breathe. A transformation not in the space, but in your body, in your hope. Now, realism check. FEMA and the CPSC warn about safety. You must place the heater on a stable surface. No drapes within 3 feet. Ensure proper ventilation. Replace fuel only when it's cool. Use devices with tip-over shutoffs and oxygen depletion sensors. Follow every precaution. Any mistake here isn't discomfort. It's tragedy. Because when collapse comes, luxuries vanish and people rediscover what really keeps you alive. Radiant heat isn't flashy, it doesn't hum with power, but when everything else fails, it's the flame that staves off despair. So if you're prepping for danger disguised as winter, don't just stock candles or blankets. Add fuel-powered radiant heat to your plan. Use it wisely. Use it safely. And let it hold your core when nothing else will. If your grandmother ever shared a tale of keeping warmth alive with fire or fuel, drop flame memory in the comments. Because sometimes, one memory saves more than just heat. It saves life. Number 5. Shelf-stable emergency food packs. You open your pantry, hoping for comfort. But if the electric lines fail and grocery trucks are stranded, those cans you rely on might be your last lifeline. That's where shelf-stable emergency food packs come in, not just as a backup, but as your survival armor. These aren't just cans or expired snacks. We're talking freeze-dried kits, retort pouches, compact ration bars, meals designed to stay edible for years. No refrigeration, no hassle. FEMA lists non-perishable food as a must-have for emergency kits for a reason. They're reliable when everything else fails. Start with high-calorie, nutrient-rich meals like MRE-style packets, retort pouches of tuna or chili, and emergency food kits that claim 25-year shelf life. These are fortified, sealed in multi-layer packs, not just food, but insurance you can store in a closet and forget until you need it most. But the real power? Simplicity under duress. All you need is water, or even eat them cold. No cooking gear, no electricity. Here's where invisible danger bites. When hunger starts, your body doesn't alert you with flashing lights. You'll feel it as weakness. Your hands tremble, your head fogs, and anxiety spikes. While others grip empty cans, you'll tear open a pouch, dump in water, and start reclaiming your strength. In recent natural disasters, families with these food packs reported staying nourished when trucks hadn't run in days. Short of miraculous? Maybe. But it's preparation quiet, consistent, and life-saving. So don't stash just snacks. Choose scientifically sealed meals. Store variety soups, grains, proteins. Rotate them yearly to keep freshness high. Keep some in a go bag, some behind your everyday stock. Spread food across containers for peace of mind when time is compressed. Because survival isn't about how luxurious your gear is, it's about reliability. Number 4. Classic kerosene lamp. When the power goes out, darkness isn't just inconvenient, it's dangerous. Flashlights die, batteries fade, and those sleek modern lights everyone depends on? They were never built for days-long blackouts. But tucked away in your grandparents' attic, there was always one item that didn't care if the grid collapsed: the classic kerosene lamp. Heavy, quiet, reliable. It didn't beep, blink, or shut off mid-use. It burned slow, steady, and strong, casting a warm yellow glow that didn't just light up a room, it changed how it felt. Because in a winter outage or a disaster night, light isn't just visibility, it's reassurance. And the kerosene lamp was that trusted friend glowing in the corner, while the world outside fell silent. Here's why it still matters. Kerosene lamps don't need lithium, chargers, or internet to function. They need fuel, a match, and that's it. Once lit, they can run for hours, some up to 20 on a single fill. No buzzing, no blue light, just flame. And here's the genius. Their heat is real. Unlike LEDs, that warm flame raises the room temp just slightly, not much, but enough to matter when the cold sets in. During the great blackouts of the 20th century, from the Northeast in 1965 to the ice storms of 1998, these lamps stayed on when everything else failed. People gathered around them to read, to talk, even to cook on top of them when needed. You could adjust the flame, shield it from drafts, or place it strategically to bounce light off mirrors and make one lamp feel like 3. And the invisible danger? You won't notice your phone battery dropping. You won't hear the flashlight's last flicker. You won't feel the dread of total darkness until it's already too late. That's when the kerosene lamp shows its worth. It's not just light, it's peace. A low-tech answer to a high-tech failure. Because while everyone else scrambles for apps and updates, those who kept a kerosene lamp handy, they're not in the dark. They're one match ahead. Number 3. Multifuel camping stove. In a blackout, when the microwave is silent and the stovetop won't click, the kitchen becomes a museum of useless gadgets. Food sits there raw, cold, untouchable, not because there's no food, but because there's no fire. That's where the multi-fuel camping stove steps in. Not flashy, not electric, just ready. It's the tool smart folks don't talk about until the power's out and the neighbors are eating cold beans from a can. This stove doesn't care about your outlet. It doesn't care about your gas line. It runs on what you've got: white gas, kerosene, propane, alcohol, even wood in some cases. It's not picky, it's prepared. Set it up on a porch, in a garage, or even on a balcony with proper ventilation. Within minutes, you've got heat. You've got flame. You've got survival disguised as dinner. Because in a cold night, it's not just the calories that matter, it's the comfort of warm food, the psychological edge of eating something hot when everything else feels cold. And here's the part that makes it genius. It's portable, compact. designed for backwoods and high altitudes, but just as effective in an urban apartment during a grid failure. You don't need to be a camper or prepper to use it, you just need to know how to strike a match. Most people underestimate how quickly they lose the ability to cook. Electric stoves stop instantly. Gas stoves may still function, but many modern systems rely on electric ignition or valves. And when both go down, it's the multi-fuel stove that keeps boiling water, frying eggs, and heating broth while everyone else waits for takeout that will never come. And the danger? You won't feel hunger right away. You won't hear your body start to weaken. You won't sense your energy slipping until you're too tired to even boil water. That's why heat-real, reliable cooking heat becomes essential. Because in the quiet cold of a powerless kitchen, fire is more than fuel. It's survival. And the multi-fuel stove is the fire that doesn't flinch. Number 2, thermal insulated water bottle. In the dead of winter, it's not just the outside air that gets dangerous, it's what happens inside your body. And when the grid goes down, your heating systems fail, and you're wrapped in every blanket you own, there's one thing that still slips through the cracks: your core temperature. That's where a thermal insulated water bottle becomes more than just a trendy container, it becomes a silent survival tool. See, most people think staying warm is about the layers you wear or the fire you build. But warmth also starts from within. A warm drink, even just hot water, can kickstart circulation, stabilize body temp, and give your body the signal that you're not shutting down. But here's the catch. Without electricity, how do you keep that warmth going all night? That's what Grandma understood long before there were electric kettles or smart mugs. She'd heat water once, pour it into an old steel thermos, and slide it under the bed covers. That single move added hours of steady warmth, not just to drink, but to sleep beside. And today's thermal insulated bottles, they're 10 times more efficient. These bottles don't just hold heat, they lock it in. Double wall vacuum sealing, stainless steel interiors. No plastic leaching, no rapid cooling. Pour in boiling water, and 8 hours later, you still have steam. That's not convenience, that's overnight insurance when the power's out and the temperature's falling. But here's the overlooked brilliance. A thermal bottle works both ways. Hot liquids stay hot, cold liquids stay cold. So if you're melting snow for drinking water, storing broth for later, or just need to keep hydration from freezing, this tool quietly handles all of it. And the invisible danger? You won't notice your hands getting stiff. You won't feel the dehydration creeping in. You won't hear the fatigue building until your body's already slowing down. One warm drink can turn that around, but only if it's ready when you need it. That's why this simple bottle isn't just for hikers and office desks. It's for winter storms, blackout nights, and quiet emergencies where every degree counts. Because when the lights go out and the cold starts pressing in, survival sometimes comes in a sealed steel bottle holding heat like a secret weapon. Number 1, body warmers. When the cold hits hard and the night stretches long, it's not your toes that betray you first, it's your core. When your body cools even by 2 degrees, everything begins to shut down. Shivers circle in, circulation falters, your clarity blurs. And when the heater's gone, the power's out, and blankets feel like empty promises, body warmers become lifelines, not just comfort. Think of them not as gadgets, but as armor. Flexible, compact, personal heaters that stick to your chest, your spine, or your belly. Blood runs slower in the cold, your organs battle to stay lit, and that's where targeted warmth saves you. A strip warmed by friction, or a pouch powered by chemicals, nestled near vital organs, it revives that fight long after the world has gone still. Your grandmother might have called it simple, but every winter night she laid cold hands near her chest with gloves tugged off, supervised that warmth. She didn't need an app to tell her what her body told her. Heat is survival. These modern body warmers don't hum, they don't buzz, but they hold the glow of survival deep in your core, the same way embers feed a stove. And when your limbs are stiff, when the floor turns prematurely cold, being able to transfer that heat from one spot to another is quietly powerful. Invisible danger? You won't feel it at first. A cold shiver feels like annoyance. Then weakness creeps in. Limbs slow, thoughts cloud. By the time that tingling becomes disaster, it's too late. But body warmers? They interrupt that slide. They hold the line. In emergency shelters during harsh freezes, families equipped with simple body warmers, commercial or improvised, recorded steadier vitals. Fewer cases of hypothermia. More people warmed. More people breathing. So don't just prep blankets. Think skin deep. Think Think heat you carry on you where the cold attacks, at your core, and when the thermostat fails, warm your heart first. If you've made it this far, it means one thing: you're not like most people. Most will scroll past. Most will laugh at the idea of preparing before the storm. Most won't think twice until it's too late. But not you. You understand something deep down: the system we rely on is fragile. One freeze, one fuel shortage, one long night without power, and suddenly, comfort turns to crisis. And in that moment, it's not your gadgets or your apps that save you. It's knowledge, it's preparation, it's the simple tools you already have used wisely, used smartly, and used the way our grandparents once did without blinking. These aren't just tips, these are tactics. Real-world, proven methods that have outlasted blackouts, blizzards, and breakdowns. And now you have them. But here's the thing: this is just the start. If you found value in even one of these ideas, if even one moment made you think, "I never knew that," then do this: subscribe. Because every week, we break down more forgotten skills, more real-world strategies, and more off-grid thinking that turns panic into peace of mind. No fluff, no fear, just truth. So hit subscribe, not for me, but for the version of you who'll thank yourself when things go wrong. The future belongs to those who prepare, and your preparation starts now.